Well, it's time to do the oath. Bible is being held by Governor-elect's grandchildren. The Governor-elect, please step forward. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Janet Trafton Mills,
Do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state,
that I will support the Constitution of this state and the United States,
so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof.
so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Janet Trafton Mills,
Do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully discharge,
that I will faithfully discharge,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
the duties incumbent on me as Governor of the state of Maine,
the duties incumbent on me as Governor of the state of Maine,
according to the Constitution and the laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and the laws of the state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
One more.
Oh,
okay. Now, Joel.
Three of them.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Oh, so proud of you.
The Secretary of State, Matthew Dunlap, will come forward and read the proclamation.
It is my solemn duty, distinct privilege, and one of the great honors of my life to present this proclamation given under my hand the second day of January in the year 2019 to the Joint Convention. The votes given on the 6th day of November last in the cities, towns, and plantations of the state of Maine for governor, the returns of which have been made to the office of the Secretary of State, having been examined and counted by the legislature, which has declared that a plurality thereof was given to Janet Trafton Mills, that she is duly elected, and that she, having in the presence of the two branches of the legislature in convention assembled, taken and subscribed the oaths required by the Constitution to qualify her to discharge the duties of that office, I therefore declare and make known to all persons who are in the exercise of any public trust in this state, as well as all good citizens thereof, that Janet Trafton Mills is Governor and Commander-in-Chief of the state of Maine, and that due obedience should be rendered to all her acts and commands as such. God save the great state of Maine!
It's hard for me to top the Secretary of State, but it is my true honor and privilege to present the Honorable Governor of the great state of Maine, Janet Trafton Mills.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Madam Chief Justice, Madam Speaker, Mr. President, members of the 129th Legislature and members of the state and federal judiciary and former governors, honored tribal members and chiefs and members of the military, friends and family, honored guests, and those 4,346 friends of mine on Facebook. I also draw your attention, in more serious vein, to the empty chair, empty seat in the military section, which recognizes and honors all Maine service members who are currently deployed. It is with humility and gratitude that I stand before you this evening. I welcome you to a ceremony that represents both a change in the individual who occupies the office of the Chief Executive and the peaceful passing of the torch of progress. There are many in this state who are the unsung, as poet Wes McNair has called them. They are the firefighters and teachers, the techies and hotel workers, the farmers and fishermen, the waiters and loggers and the barbers and mill workers of our towns. They are our friends, our neighbors. They are immigrants and laborers, veterans, people with disabilities, people from away, people we rely on every day, and many who rely on us. This governorship is about them, the men and women of the state of Maine. This year, you know, for the first time in our state's 198-year-long history, after 74 men from York, Cumberland, Penobscot, Androscoggin counties, finally, you have elected a governor from Franklin County. I am from the foothills of Maine, western Maine, which bred Margaret Chase Smith and Carrie Stevens and Cornelia Crosby, known as Fly Rod Crosby, who was the Maine's first registered guide in 1897, first registered guide, male or female, and who famously said, "I would rather fish any day than go to heaven." Sorry. In recent weeks, I've received many letters. 8-year-old Lucy wrote, quote, "Now I feel like I could become governor someday." On the morning after the election, one mother left a note in her daughter's lunchbox. It said, "Janet Mills won last night," it said. "She's the first woman to be the governor in Maine ever. Think about all the things you can do. Love, Mom." I do think about all the things they can do, along with their brilliant brothers, uncles, and fathers. But truly, this milestone, this year, this milestone, this one day will be all commonplace, like drinking milk or eating toast. When future generations read of this day, they'll wonder what all the fuss was about. Sometimes our culture moves slowly in the stream of change. Streams, like the people of Maine, change direction on occasion to find the best way forward. Many days I awake to see the mist rising from the Sandy River as it steers its course down to the Kennebec, the winter's breath unveiling a new day in my hometown, a new day in this state. Then I hear the familiar sounds of chickadees, church chimes, and jake breaks. This is home in Maine. The Sandy River pours out of Rangeley Lake and meanders through my town and gains momentum on its way to the Kennebec And there it joins other tributaries to become a powerful waterway, a loud home to eagles and salmon, stripers and sturgeon on its course to Merry Meeting Bay. The Sandy River connects my town to those upstream and downstream, and we become one with the rest of Maine, linked by water, woods, and land. Former Governor Joshua Chamberlain described this link back in 1876. He said, "This great and wide sea, these beaches and bays and harbors, these things invite the brave, the noble. Thought comes here and dwells. They will love the land," he said, "and the land will give back strength." The Wabanaki people know this bond. Their wisdom was passed along by people like Joseph Attian, legendary governor of the Penobscot Nation, a brave, open-hearted, and forbearing individual who guided Henry David Thoreau in his first moose hunt through the vast and primitive wilderness to Chesuncook Lake. The plaque that overlooks Attian Lake, named for him, reads, "Rise free from care before the dawn and seek adventure." Today we rise, a new day before us, and seek adventure. But today our connection to the land is endangered. After 80 years of studies warning that carbon emissions are destroying our environment, the danger is now at our doorstep. The Gulf of Maine is warming faster than almost any other saltwater body in the world, driving our lobsters up the coast. Our coastal waters are growing acidic, temperatures fluctuating, the sea levels rising, endangering our shellfish industry, while our forests are less suitable for spruce and fir and more suitable for ticks. Climate change is threatening our jobs, damaging our health, and attacking our historic relationship to the land and the sea we love. Tonight I say enough. Enough with studies, talk, and debate. It is time to act. Our administration will embrace clean energy, change our modes of transportation, weatherize homes and businesses, and reach a goal of 50% of our electricity coming from Maine renewable resources. And these actions will create good-paying jobs, preserve our environment, and welcome young people to build a green future here in Maine. And by the way, when you drive by the Blaine House in the coming weeks, look for some new solar panels that we're going to install. Why not? We need a healthy environment, and we need healthy people. Maine voters agreed, which is why they voted to expand Medicaid. Hospitals, nurses, doctors, and businesses all agree as well. Health care is for everyone, not just the well-to-do. It is for the small business. The small business is struggling to pay high health insurance bills. It is for the family on the brink of bankruptcy because of one illness, accident, or medical mishap. It is for the community that takes up collections in a jar at the corner store to pay for a neighbor's medical costs. It is for people like my friend Patty. My friend Patty was a vibrant, intelligent, and charitable woman, an athlete, and mother of 3 wise children, loved by all and uninsured. She died needlessly from breast cancer, a disease that could have been diagnosed easily, early, treated, and cured. And Patty's story is not unique. Many of you have friends like Patty. This is unacceptable. In the memory of Patty and thousands of others, our new administration will expand Medicaid and pay for it sustainably. We will work to ensure that every person has primary care. We will control the cost of health insurance and rein in the cost of prescription drugs. A major part of the healthcare crisis is the opiate epidemic. History will note that we have abandoned an entire generation of people to this preventable disease. The allure of opiates can fill a hole in the human heart caused by loneliness, stress, hopelessness. Even as I speak, there is someone within the sound of my voice about to consume a deadly drug, jeopardizing themselves, their friends, their families, their communities. If that person is listening, please know that I and many others are here for you. You are not alone. We will confront this disease together. We will offer a helping hand, not pass judgment. We want you to succeed and to survive. We want to welcome you home again. It is time for action. Narcan, widely available, medication-assisted treatment, recovery coaches, these things will be a reality. And in sad memory of the 418 Maine people who lost their lives to drug overdose in 2017, our administration will create the Director of Opiate Response, a person who will marshal the collective power and resources of this state to stem the tide of this epidemic. Part of that effort will be to fully engage with people in our own communities. Take it outdoors, as one of our favorite retailers puts it. Renewing the healing bond we have with the land and our environment. In addition to protecting the medical health of our people, we will also advance the economic health of our people. To employers, entrepreneurs, and innovators with new ideas for forest products, aquaculture, recreation, renewables, and everything in between, I say you are welcome here. We will offer a world-class workforce. You know, fewer than half of Maine people, Maine adults, now hold a post-secondary credential, a college degree or a professional certification. Yet 2 out of 3 jobs require such credentials. This imbalance is why we have, at the same time, employers saying they can't find workers and workers saying they're stuck in dead-end jobs. Education is the key to helping our people achieve their full potential. Attracting talented young people to move here and make Maine their home will be a top priority of my administration. And from now on, yes, a sign will greet all those arriving in our state at the Kittery line, and it will say simply, welcome home.
Permission from the turnpike guy, though.
They tell me I have to get permission from the turnpike. I'll work on it. I will work with the new administration, the new legislature, to achieve the best education for our people, from preschool through college and beyond, beginning with full and fair funding for our schools, including our career and technical centers. And we will treat our teachers with the respect and dignity they deserve. There's a few teachers here. Are there any teachers? McCrae. There is no higher priority than our children. And with so many people still at Long Creek, with children waiting for critical mental health services, and some even losing their lives to violence in their own homes, it's high time we put children's health and safety first. I'm going to start with one simple step: calling together the Children's Cabinet for the first time in years to tackle these issues. Simple. Well, these are some of the challenges we know about, but we must also be prepared for the unexpected. We know that a recession is possible in the next few years. It is. We know that someday robots, drones, driverless cars, broadband, and 3D printing will radically alter the way Maine people live, learn, and work, and so we need to be ready. Now, I made my own predictions back at the turn of the century, the last century. In the year 1999, I wrote down a list of things I thought would stay in the new millennium and things I thought might go away. I predicted, for instance, in 50 years, there would no longer be the following things: cash money, paper bags, spare tires, lint, dust, and pantyhose. But in 50 years, I said there would likely still be Stephen King bestsellers, Baxter State Park, People from Away, and Strom Thurmond. Anybody remember him? As you can see, I can't rely on myself too well to predict the future. That's why I'm enlisting help. I'm following the advice of writer Kurt Vonnegut, who said, quote, he said a lot of things, but he also said, quote, every government ought to have a Department of the Future. So, my administration will create an Office of Innovation and the Future. This office will dive into major policy changes, foster collaboration, and propose concrete, workable solutions. Let's look ahead for a change. Now, here's how I want to govern, because we're all in this together. We all want Maine to have a beautiful environment and happy people and prosperous communities. And although we all agree on a goal, we sometimes differ on how to get there. We are Republicans, Greens, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, and so many more besides. But this is something I know well myself. I mean, every Mills family reunion is like a meeting of the United Nations. Everyone has an opinion, and everyone wants the microphone. But these differences are what make my family strong. They make every family strong. They make Maine strong. Our diversity is a virtue, one that we should harness to advance good public debate and good public policy. We welcome the voices of newcomers also to the public conversation, the young, the immigrants, people of different cultures, people of color, people of different orientations. All are important members of the Maine family. My town, like many of yours, my town has always had a commons where everybody would graze their sheep and cattle in the old days and sell produce and open a farmer's market now, and where we'd all enjoy a concert on a summer evening. Our state needs to find its common ground, expand our horizons, become one Maine again. From the tree streets of Lewiston to the rolling fields of the county, from the bold coast to the height of land, from Cross Rock in Allagash to the Portland's promenades, our people will once again find unity of purpose. We will bring back Maine's tradition of civil discourse expressed by Governor Israel Washburn, a friend of Abraham Lincoln's, in his 1861 inaugural. He said, "Waving aside petty schemes and unseemly wrangles, let us rise, if we can, to the height of the great argument which duty and patriotism so eloquently address to us." You know, I have fallen in love a few times in my life. There are those in this audience whom I have loved for long and for years, friends and family, and some newly loved. But it is the bond we all share for our state, our children longing for security, newcomers seeking to belong, for all those who feel left behind, who long for respect and dignity. One thing we all love is our great state. And when a family, a community, a state believe in each other, help each other, love each other, great things can happen. Maine people have greatness within them. Maine is our home. We are connected by the rivers and the land, the forests and the mountains. We are connected by love. We are strengthened by those connections. We are one Maine, undivided, one family, from Calais to Bethel, from York to Fort Kent. And so we meet this evening, free from care. The heirs of Joseph Addy and Joshua Chamberlain, Flyrod Crosby and Israel Washburn, and tomorrow we rise before the dawn like the mist over the sandy river and seek adventure. With hope in our hearts and love in our souls for the brand new day. And to all of you and to all the people of Maine, I say, welcome home. Welcome home!